Hey there, everybody. Welcome to the weekly astrology for the week of May 2nd. This week, we have a lot to talk about. Pretty powerful week. I actually think for the rest of the summer, we're going to see weeks like this sprinkled throughout, and the summer's just going to get more and more powerful, having a lot big build up of energy and things like that over the summer. And a lot of interesting things going on that pretty much never happen, like the fact that right now 5 planets are retrograde, which happens I don't know off the top of my head exactly how rare that is, but I'm sure it's a very, very infrequent thing to have happen. So we're in some pretty interesting times, but this week, let's get into this week. I have a lot to talk about before we even get into the planets this week, because there's just so much going on and what this week is really about. But really there's a lot of support for clarity this week. I think that's something that's very important, just looking at some of these planetary aspects that are going on for the week. I think there's a lot of support for clarity. Again, with all these retrograde planets, there's a severe lack of clarity. But I think if we put in some effort, really, for clarity on certain issues, we will actually become super clear on exactly what's going on. And even after the retrogrades, after everything starts going direct, mainly Mars and Mercury are the two that really are kind of leading to a lot of confusion for a lot of people. I think once those two go direct, it'll be like there will be a huge amount of clarity in a lot of places in a lot of our lives. But there's definitely a little battle this week, I think, between kind of like procrastination and doing what feels good, basically, temporarily. And that's why we procrastinate, is because it's a trick of our brains that makes us feel good to procrastinate, and because we don't want to be in any amount of pain. So we kind of sacrifice future reward for procrastination. I think a lot of you will be coming to that conclusion this week, and even being like working on things like developing willpower. This week will be very important for a lot of you out there. A lot of you, you can't really avoid it just looking at the chart right now and how it's positioned. I think pretty much nobody can avoid this whole looking at willpower, looking at procrastination, and looking at where we can get more serious in life in a lot of ways. I think we'll also all be very open this week. There's a lot of openness, and we're going to talk about that on a few of these aspects right now. I've been talking about how everybody's super laser focused and how there's this great polarity, as I say, that's been going on for a while, where people are super dogmatic. They're one way or the other, and they will not see anything in between. They will not see anything in the middle. But we have a lot of really great transits starting this week that have a lot to do with seeing both sides of an argument, kind of being a devil's advocate in a lot of ways. However, having said that, I think this week you're almost going to have to be your own devil's advocate for yourself and really make sure you're looking at both sides of everything that you do this week. I know I've been kind of, saying that for the past couple weeks, but it's really important this week that you look at kind of everything that's going on. And you might be even arguing with yourself this week and really finding yourself changing beliefs. A lot of people are changing beliefs right now. It's very interesting to watch on a global scale. People going from, whatever to something totally different and just making these complete changes. Also, I want to say also, and I'm going to talk about this more next week, but Jupiter will start going direct next week. Actually, on the 9th, it will go stationary, basically, and then it will go direct after that. But I bet a lot of people out there are probably already seeing improvements in finances. You should already be seeing improvements in those areas, depending on where Jupiter is in your chart as well. But a lot of you could be seeing, a lot. It could seem like things are getting a little bit easier in a lot of ways. Trying to do different projects or whatever it is that you're working on in life could be a little bit easier now that Jupiter will be going direct next week, which will be nice. But the first thing I want to look at this week actually is on May 3rd, we have the Sun trining Jupiter. And this is great. It's a very fortunate position in a lot of ways, and it brings a lot of actually mental stability and clarity, exactly what I was talking about in the beginning. So again, use this Sun trine Jupiter in the beginning of the week. That trine kind of will stay in the astrology for a while, but definitely use that stability. It's even good for mental stability. I think a lot of us maybe are dealing with a lot of this like neurotic energy that's out there, right? It's making people feel crazy in a lot of ways, but this is very stabilizing, and it stabilizes exactly what's going on in a lot of ways. It's also a good time to be very ambitious, to be very hardworking, adventurous, and even a little bit relentless with the Sun trine Jupiter. It's a good time to just really kind of, if you find yourself, if you've been working on something and it really hasn't been working, it's a really good time to kind of like double your efforts and really push really, really hard, because you will be rewarded handsomely with this Sun trine Jupiter here. It's a very favorable placement for money. It's very favorable placement for even seeing the future. It's an innovative position when the Sun trines Jupiter like this, and it's also great for health in a lot of ways. The next thing that I'm going to talk about probably for the rest of the time here is this May 6th new moon in Taurus, and that is going to be a super moon, and it is really going to be a good time to set new intentions, which all new moons are great for, setting new intentions, and you'll have about 2 weeks to do that. Usually at a new moon we have about 2 weeks to set our intentions for until the next new moon, which will be on June 4th, if I remember correctly. The next new moon will be on June 4th. And don't be afraid, I would say, again, don't be afraid to set intentions and even maybe start new things, even with all these retrogrades going on. It definitely probably won't be easy, I'm not going to lie and say starting something like a new project or something is going to be easy for you, or anything during these retrogrades. If anything, it might be even more challenging. But if you set up the plans during this time, then it could be a lot easier. Just planning things, educating yourself as well is very important. So learning everything you possibly can so that you can move forward during when the retrogrades, when everything goes direct, that'll be very important. And but also, again, if you do launch something during this time, it might be more difficult. You might have to work 10 times harder. But again, the rewards on the other side of the retrograde could be that much bigger and better in a lot of ways if you put in the hard work, which I think the astrology is prime for right now, putting in hard work and just working really hard and doing whatever you can. Again, it's that whole kind of, putting things off and not doing what you need to do right now by procrastinating, or doing what's important. And, really under some of these positions here, you'll feel better just doing things. We have like a lot of trines going on this week, a lot of this trining energy, especially at the time of this new moon. And the thing about trines is they can make us very lazy. We also have this grand earth trine forming up there, and that can also make us feel very lazy. The thing with trines is when we look at trines in somebody's birth chart, they kind of come naturally. It's something that the person is naturally good at. And so sometimes when we have like a natural gift, we don't realize like how good we are at whatever that gift may be, or just because it comes so effortlessly to us, then, sometimes we don't take action on those gifts either. That can be the kind of the dark side of trines in a lot of ways. And we have a bunch of trines this week, like I said, so a lot of us could be getting very lazy. But the good side of that is, all these talents and abilities kind of come to us during this time. If we work really hard, then they get magnified in a lot of ways. So definitely it's definitely time to take action, like I said. So let's look at the first moon aspect here that we have going on this week. We have the moon conjunct Mercury in retrograde. Moon conjunct Mercury, very good for being very creative, great for detailed work. I would say it's a great time. I've been stressing planning over the past couple weeks, and I think I said maybe last week or the week before that I think really things get really good right at the beginning of August. But even at that, if you need to launch something new, right at the end of June there, when Mars goes direct, June 29th, and then, so basically July, it's a really great time to launch new projects. But during this time, it's a great time to be meticulous and to look at everything that you're doing, and to kind of go over things and really double check things in a lot of ways. So if you're planning to do something, again, great time to educate yourself, look for new things to educate yourself on, look for any new ways of doing things during this period of time, look for better ways of doing things. You will be rewarded for doing this. And also moon conjunct Mercury, great time to really focus on kind of what can't be seen, so anything behind the scenes, and a great time for setting up structure in a lot of ways. And this is one of those first placements that I talked about that allows you to really see both sides of an argument. Moon conjunct Mercury, again, can kind of play devil's advocate in a lot of ways, see both sides of an argument. So that could be very beneficial to you as well. Think about it. If you're starting a new project, or you're starting anything new, or looking to start a new relationship, looking at both sides can be very beneficial. Seeing where there are weaknesses on both sides will only benefit you. So definitely study those things. Next, we have Moon conjunct Venus. This makes us very attractive and charming to people, very social as well, and it can also represent more fun coming to us. We could be doing things to have more fun, making sure we have more fun, but definitely a time to make sure you don't overspend and you don't procrastinate. Definitely Moon conjunct Venus makes us feel way too comfortable, right? It's a great placement. It's great for a lot of things, but it can make us fall into this like comfort zone type trap thing that we that we really don't want. So definitely don't do that. Next, we have the Moon trine Jupiter, which gives us a sense of luck and happiness. It's a very lucky position, although having said that, I would not rely on luck during this period of time. Rely on, solid, grounded action. Don't think you're going to get lucky on anything. And don't think, I see people constantly ask me about the lottery. I am totally against the lottery and things like that because, again, especially now, maybe if you asked me like 10 years ago when the energy was different, I would say something different. But, there's been this thing where the universe really wants us to earn whatever it is that we get, not necessarily win. Hey, but if you get lucky again this week and something good happens to you, then just look at it as a bonus. But just really focus on just work and don't rely on luck this week. Moon trine Jupiter, also great for health. A lot of great health aspects, a lot of great things for those of you looking to get healthy and to do healthy things. Really great for looking at diets, exercise, all those things. And that there's been a long-term kind of bunch of transits that have been talking about this for a while now. So definitely a good time to look at your health. And as the summer continues, it'll just get better for health as well. Next, we have the Moon sextiling Neptune, which is great for imagining what we want. There's a lot of energy also for looking towards the future. Very good for looking at the future, what we want our lives to look like in the future, who we want to be with, how much money we want to make, what we want to do every single day, all of that, looking at all of those things. It's great to do under this aspect. The problem here is it makes us want to avoid kind of things that are uncomfortable, and I think we need to be uncomfortable right now, and some people might not want to hear that, but really when we're uncomfortable, that makes us work to figure out some solutions. So again, you don't have to be uncomfortable very long, but look at what makes you uncomfortable. My warning would be that over the past 8 years, it's been very difficult, maybe 9 years for some people, maybe even longer for others, but it's been very difficult, and we've almost been punished for mistakes that we've made, like, over the past 8 years, if we look at numbers of bankruptcy, for example, they've gone through the roof, debt has gone through the roof, all of these things. Well, what is that? That's the universe forcing people to look at their money and get better at their money, even relationships, divorce at an all-time high, forcing people to look at relationships and what they truly want in relationships. So now the universe kind of punished us for in a lot of ways. I wouldn't say punish. I would say taught us how to do things. And so now it's like we're getting that second chance coming back around. A lot of second chances for a lot of people. The universe really wants us to look at these things. There's kind of like two things that I feel here. I feel on one hand a lot of people have become almost shell-shocked to the point where they don't want to look at things that make them uncomfortable, like divorce, like money, like debt, and things like that. But the problem is the universe is going to, make something happen, like bigger debt or bankruptcy or something, if you don't look at it. Especially with these Saturn influences, that have been going on. Definitely take care of your money, take care of your stuff, look at what makes you uncomfortable, and then fix it. Come up with a solution, because then guess what? You will be rewarded. Again, the universe truly wants to reward us, and but if we don't take action, we don't do things, if we procrastinate, then that's when the universe is like, well, they're not learning their lesson, so we have to, make something more difficult happen so they actually pay attention. So pay attention to things. Don't just ignore things and think that they'll fix themselves. They won't. Next, we have the Moon trining Pluto this week as well. This is great for taking risks in a lot of ways. It's also great for being self-motivated. It's a great position for anybody who's really, looking to get things done, looking to get projects done and things like that. It's also great for being very resilient, for being able to handle the disappointments. So, here I come off of this other placement here saying you need to be uncomfortable, but there's a placement right after it that says, you know what, the universe will take care of you. The universe will make sure that you can handle any uncomfortable moments. You can handle any disappointments, and you will be fine. You just have to work through it. And excuse me, this moon trine Pluto is also great for spirituality and being spiritual. So now let's move on to the sun. There's a lot of stuff kind of going on with the sun in a lot of ways. It might not be like super heavily aspected. It kind of is, but I just could feel a lot of energy around the sun. I think there's a lot of stuff going on with the sun. And, I always say that the way I look at astrology is the moon is who we are. The sun is like who we are trying to become. Our sun sign is what we are trying to become. The moon is our personality and our psyche and all of these things. So it's pretty crazy that we're coming off of this big new moon here. And there's also a bunch of sun type transits going on this week. It's like really forcing us. All this stuff seems to be forcing us to become who we truly are in a lot of ways. So we start off with the Sun conjunct Mercury, which makes us very mentally active, very quick-minded, very witty. It makes us think, so a lot of us will probably be thinking about things, planning things, but it's really important that we slow down during this time and we really look at what we're doing. Again, remember the other transit there that I'm forgetting about, of course. Moon conjunct Mercury is making us super meticulous and making us look over things and really look at what we're doing. So use these two things together. Use the sun and the moon together is what's going to be important this week. So slow down, focus, definitely look at everything. Also, stay open to other points of view. Remember what I said in the beginning about, luckily, we have a lot of energy about this. We have a lot of this looking at both sides type of energy that will just benefit you in everything that you're doing this week. It's also another great position for willpower as well, developing will. So kind of more of that don't procrastinate energy. If you just go forward and do what you got to do, it'll be a great week. Sun conjunct Venus next. So wanting to take care of others, wanting to help other people, thinking about people in our lives, and things like that. It's great for doing anything, taking care of people. And it also makes us likable as well. So if you've been thinking about putting yourself out there, it might be a great week to plan on doing that. Sun and the moon are both quincunx Saturn. I normally don't talk about quincunxes and things like that because they're not, considered, I guess, that powerful, but this is an interesting one because this is that balance right here of procrastinating and not procrastinating. It's all about being disciplined. Remember, Saturn, discipline. And it's also a great time to watch your health. So make sure to watch your health. And when the sun and the moon are both quincunx Saturn, watch your health. And it's also a great week to stay honest. Be super honest. Be upfront with everybody in your life with this transit. It'll be very important. Next, we have the Sun trining Pluto, which is a great chance for improvement in a lot of ways. A great chance to make improvements spiritually as well. It's great for concentration, being able to concentrate and able to start things and finish things. So again, all these energies coming together from these other transits to kind of like help you out and make sure that you're taking action in a lot of ways. So really important to be to believe in yourself during this transit as well, and be open to as many different views as you possibly can. There are at least just looking at the chart here, there's like 3 or 4 transits here that are all about being wide open to new ideas and accepting of new ideas. Does that mean you have to like believe these things or anything like that? No, absolutely not. It just means that you listen to everything that's coming into you. Again, Sun trine Pluto, Pluto the detective. So listen to everything that's coming in this week, even if you don't agree with it, but just take it in and allow it to kind of marinate and see how you feel after. Will it change your mind? Maybe not. But again, it's really important to hear other sides of view this week. And finally, we have Jupiter will be trining Pluto. This is all about having kind of like an unshakable faith, really, again, believing in yourself, understanding others, and truly trying to understand others. Exactly what I said about allowing for other people's beliefs. Great for using your intuition, and great for building authority in a lot of ways. So a lot of you could be planning how to build authority this week as well. Wow, this is a super powerful week. Again, that new moon's a super moon. So definitely, take your time. I think that's what's important this week. Take your time, be meticulous, and also listen. Listening has come up like a bunch of times in the card readings, and it's come up in the past couple weeks for astrology. Definitely listen to what people have to say. But thank you for watching, and enjoy the week.